So it's the internship season. Maybe you and some of your friends around you are looking for that awesome job at that big company over this summer. Now, is that you? Is getting a job at a large company, a big brand, really the right decision for you? Let's break that down. Why are internships important? You learn something in the classroom, you have a degree, do an undergrad or a postgrad. But then when you join a job, you kind of see, well, there's a little disconnect between what I've learned in classroom versus what I'm expected to do at the workplace. Now, if you go back in Indian mythology during Ramayana and Mahabharata, you had Gurukul concept where you had to learn, get the theory in place, but then apply it right away. In the leadership development world, you have the 70-20-10 principle, which is again 70% applied at the job, and then you get some information so that you are moving forward. So that is the purpose of getting an internship. But there are many other reasons why you need an internship. It forms the link between getting an undergrad or a postgrad degree and your job. If you want to figure out what is the career that you want to build in, an internship is a good place to gather experiences, gain clarity. What do you want to build your career in? What is the vocation that you want to master yourself in? Do you want to go in technical line? Do you want to go on business line, sales, finance? All of these things can get real business experience through an internship. Now that is what it is meant to be. But are all experiences the same? Are all internships the same? The answer is no. Now let's take a look at what are the possible outcomes from an internship. I'm going to give you two possible outcomes. One is you understand what are the things that you don't want to do. An internship can help you figure out what are the sectors, what are the job roles that you don't want to do and create a career on. Let me give you one very quick example. I have someone with me working at DASAR who did his internship in the finance world. After doing that internship for 2 months, he came out of it saying, I just never going to work in the finance world. And so that was like a very clear process of elimination, which he used to understand what are the things that he doesn't want to do or focus on. The second part of it is understanding what you want to do in your career. Let me explain with an example. A friend of mine did engineering and then worked in IT industry for about 4 or 5 years, likes of Infosys, and realized he didn't want to do that. He wanted to actually go into the investment world. In the 2-year MBA program, he interned with one of the investment funds as a research analyst, and he absolutely loved it. He's gone on to dedicate his whole professional career in the investment field. You can use your internship to really just understand what you want to do so that once you know what you want to do for the next 50 years of your life, life becomes extremely simple. Chalo, now let's get into the crux of the matter. What should you look for when you're hunting for an internship? First point, connecting the dots. Where you are today versus where you want to be. Can this internship form the bridge for you or not? And can that go on your resume or not? Point number 2, you actually want to just gain clarity. You want to understand what's the benefit of working for a big brand name, say like Reliance Jio. Or do you want to work at a startup and get very specific expertise and functional experience, say digital marketing. We'll get into these details now, so hang on. The other thing that you really want to think about is, do you want to work or get an internship at a large company or a startup? I think these are very wildly different experiences and internships, so you need to gain clarity. So let's understand first the advantages of working at a large company. Big brand name, good for your credibility, it goes on your resume, it becomes easier for you to get a job down the line. If you're looking for a job at a large company, it's easier to justify to your family members that you are working at a large company. And most likely, most large companies pay good stipends for an internship. Are there any disadvantages of working for a large brand? First of all, when you join this company, you're probably not the only one, which means there are 20 others along with you. This means that your supervisor has to pay attention to 20 people, not just you. So your own personal development and attention to you, to guide you, may not be available. Second thing, large companies have large resources and a lot of talented people. You may not be working on the most important projects or projects that are of significant value to the company. Third, that means if you're not working on the most important projects, you're actually doing grunt work. really low value work which needs to be done, which might be important for you to understand, but may not be the best for your personal career growth. Which is the last and the final point, your responsibility. Are you given the responsibility to execute and deliver on an outcome? Most likely not in a large company. Can they afford to give you the most important responsibilities and outcomes, goals while you are there with them? It is very unlikely, and these reasons really result in maybe not having the best internship experience for working at a large brand. Say you're now interning at a small company or a startup. What are all the advantages? It is fun. मजा आता है जब छोटे कंपनी में काम करते हो क्योंकि गिन चुन के 5, 10, 50 लोग रहते हैं. A, you are given responsibility to work and to deliver on outcomes. You have to work on important projects because there are no unimportant projects in a small company. The second thing is, if you have to deliver on outcome, you need to learn very quickly and you need to apply. It's all ground level experience. It's not bookish anymore. Nobody is going to spoon feed you. Your manager or your boss might handhold you and tell you, ये सीख ले, ये ऐसे करना है, वो वैसे करना है. But ultimately, you just have to pick it up and you have to execute and get it done. The last and the most important point is, because you have responsibility, because you have ownership, you get a fantastic opportunity to grow very, very quickly that you can put in your resume, and that can result in you getting a job which is one level higher than your peers. Because you've done more work, you've taken more responsibility. The last and the most important is, in a small company, the opportunity to really bond and network and have fun by climbing the hill or going out on an exertion kind of happens naturally, because 12-12 घंटा काम कर रहे हैं दिन में, तो दोस्त तो बन ही रहे हैं, झगड़ा भी हो रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. So what are the disadvantages of working at a small company or a startup? There are 5 things that come to my mind. First is ambiguity. You know, a startup is trying to figure out what business they are in, how do they generate revenue, how do they grow revenue, what is the product to be built, event कैसे manage करना है. So there are so many things that are falling apart, that ambiguity and uncertainty are a part of working at a startup or a small company. The second part is, because there are not enough people and not enough resources, a whole middle management might not be there. Meaning, you could have your supervisor or your boss who's extremely busy and may not pay attention to you and guide you. You have to learn on the job, and you have to learn very fast, and you have to deliver. The third thing is low pay, or maybe even no pay. The company might not be able to pay you more than say 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees, maybe even 0 rupees for that internship. They'll tell you, we'll give you a certificate and great experience. The fourth part, it's a startup, it's a small company. There may not be a brand. And the last and the most important point is social pressure. In India, आप शर्मा जी को क्या बोलोगे कि आपका बेटा कहाँ पे काम कर रहा है, रिलायंस में काम नहीं कर रहा है? Now that I have outlined what are the advantages, disadvantages of working at a large brand and a small company or a startup, let's understand, when does it make sense to work at a large company, a big brand, versus a small company or a startup. If you're someone who's very clear that you need a big brand on your resume, you need a job which is safe and secure, you worry about your recognition and reputation and what people say around you, and you want a consistent pay, then maybe a large brand makes sense for you to do an internship. You don't really worry so much about what is the kind of work that I'm going to get, or what is going to be my personal growth. I'm not very eager to climb up the ladder very, very quickly. On the other hand, a small company or a startup is great if you want a fast career growth, if you want to learn hands-on, if you want to do multiple things. You know, in a large company, they'll not allow you to work on finance plus marketing plus operations. But in a small company, you have to do everything. And so you have to do it yourself. You have to deliver. And so because you are delivering an outcome and the startup is growing or the small company is growing, your career growth can be significantly faster. You will be more entrepreneurial minded as well, which is again respected in and around the world. Should an internship be paid or unpaid? I think there is so much discussion around this on LinkedIn, on Twitter, that you really need to understand how important is money for you, when you're selecting an internship. Personally, I land on the side where every internship should be paid. The company should have skin in the game. They will value your input, they will give you important work if they are paying you. If they are not paying you, they might not even give you important work. So I think it goes hand in hand. I've known startups not pay interns anything. I've seen large companies not pay interns because they are saying, we are going to give you an opportunity to work with a very large brand. What can you do as a student or as an intern? You should definitely ask for pay. So when you have a conversation, whether it's a large company or a small company, your time is important to you and you're going to give it your best. So make sure that you ask at least a nominal amount, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 rupees per month for the work that you do. And then put all your effort behind it so you deliver over and above the money that they are paying you. Here's a quick bonus for you. If you're at a point where you want to decide whether internship at company A versus company B, which one is going to be good for me? And is it going to help me in my future role or my career? I have created a simple checklist that you can just do it yourself over 5 minutes and understand yourself whether company A internship is more useful for you for your professional career than company B. Go check it out. Thanks for sticking around till the end. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you share with other people so that they get the benefit. And make sure you have a fantastic time at the internship, whether that's a large company or a small company. Maybe you want to do 2 internships. Maybe just 1 internship is enough. Maybe you can continue this internship over the next year. So whatever the case might be, continue to level up.